Hi beautiful people, today I'm super happy to see you for this new video. Today I'm gonna show you some simple tips that can make your sample way more interesting to turn a flat, simple sample to a crazy, interesting and addictive sample like this one. So for this sample, I just use a great sound selection, a lot of synths, dark synths. And for this sample, I'm gonna use my new kit, New Wave, the link is in the description. I just put all my energy to make this crazy synth, analog, vintage type of sound. And for make your sound more analog, vintage and more energetic and way more interesting is the saturation. I have this bass, sound like this. And the sound I use is Berserk from my Analog Lab Bank. And I have this button, the distortion. Way more interesting. You have this darker texture in the middle, in the low end, and it just makes your sound more powerful. So play with the saturation is one of the key. I love the distortion in Analog Lab, but if you don't have this plugin, you have this free saturation. This tips is super important. Play with the saturation. It just makes your sample more energetic, more powerful, and you have these little harmonics here and there that make your sample more cohesive. So the second tips that I use in the sample is play with the silence. So what I mean with play with the silence, here you have a chord and here you have a silence like this. And play with the silence, make your song way more interesting and way more powerful. Adding silence between energetic parts helps create tension and gives more power to those energetic sections. And again, another tip that I use, and I repeat this again, is layer your thing. So I have this first synth, is the preset that I use. I use this synth and I use this synth. And again, I layer, in the top, only 2 notes for this. The other chord is like 3 notes, super simple. And I told you that the silence made the difference, and it's true. But for accent this effect, the important thing that you need to do is the anticipation. So what I mean with anticipate some parts is, with the silence, I just add this little note here and this little note here. 2 notes here, super glidey. Is like a transition for have some more impact after this. So I layer this with this little lead. Super simple, and together just make the difference. And when I switch this part to this part, I just switch the bass sound like this. Again, play with the saturation. The preset that I use is Octopus. So the second tip that I can give you is make some vibration. So what I mean is like this example when I change the sound of the bass, it makes your sample more alive. So another tip is use your arpeggio like a lead. I use this arpeggio, make this note. Again, I play with the silence, and I play again with the saturation is very important, specifically for this type of sample. It's a simple chords, but layer with the guitar. It's like a layer of 2 leads, but play another thing, and I can't explain, but it just sounds super cool. And I layer this with the guitar, a simple note, long note, and at the end of this guitar, I just put a note that I just put down, put down, put down. For the sound of this guitar is like a stock sound in Ableton. You can just put a one shot. So this is the effects that I put on my guitar. You can copy the settings if you want. And again, like you see, I play with the saturation, the pedal, the amp, without Texas. And with the saturation is way more rock and roll and way more interesting. Crazy. It totally changed the sound, so don't sleep with the saturation, is a great tool. So the final tips I can give you is add some note here and there. When you finish your sample, think about, okay, can I accent this part with a needle note? Like this note that I put, the sound like this. Little lead. You don't hear this in the sample, but you feel it, it's harmonically super interesting, in the sample. And I just put this super low to generate some harmonics. The same with this guitar that I just play in my room. It's like a slide, simple slide, but accent some part of the sample, know, it's like a transition and it's super powerful. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I just enjoyed the video. If you want the same sound that I use, the link is in the description. I just put all my energy in this bank. Like, comment, subscribe, this helps so much. Thank you again for watching this video, and I see you in another video. Peace.